Welcome back to Bite-Sized Folklore, where we serve up strange stories, eerie encounters, and curious customs, one bite at a time. Today, we're headed to the misty borderlands between Scotland and England, to the haunted woods of Caterhaugh, where a bold young woman met a mysterious knight and unravelled a centuries-old spell. This is the tale of Tam Lin. The story of Tam Lin has been passed down for centuries, most famously through the old Scottish ballads. They likely date back to the 13th or 14th century, although the version that we know today was written down in the 1700s. It survived not through books, but through oral tradition, sung by travelling balladeers and whispered in low voices by firesides. It's part of the Child Ballads, a collection of Old English and Scottish folk songs that were compiled in the 19th century by Francis James Child. But even before that, people in the border regions knew the name Tam Lin, and they knew to stay wary of Caterhaugh. Caterhaugh is a real place, tucked between Selkirk and the Ettrick Forest in the Scottish borders. But in folklore, it's no ordinary glade. It's said that if a maiden wanders there alone, she might meet the fairy knight, Tam Lin. Once, a young woman named Janet, spirited, noble-born, and not one for obeying rules, rode into those woods despite every warning. The locals whispered of a ghostly rider who demanded payment from trespassers. A token, a glove, even a lock of hair. But Janet? She wasn't afraid. She picked a rose from the forest floor and, right on cue, Tam Lin appeared. He asked why she'd come. She said plainly, "The land is mine to walk, and if roses grow here, I'll gather them." Bold move, but Tam Lin was impressed. And here's where things get a little bit complicated. Tam Lin revealed he wasn't a ghost, or not quite. He was once a mortal knight captured by the Queen of the Fairies, who kept him trapped in her realm beneath the hill. Once every 7 years, the fair folk must pay a tithe to hell, and Tam feared he would be the next chosen sacrifice. But there was one chance to free him. On Halloween night, the Queen and her court would ride through the forest from fairy mound to mound. Tam Lin would be among them. He told Janet, "If you love me, if you dare, pull me from my horse and hold on tight, no matter what I become." And here's the kicker. He'd change into a serpent, a lion, a burning brand, a lump of red-hot iron. The fairies would try to scare her off, but if she held on, he'd be free. That night, Janet waited. The fairy host rode by, wild and glittering. She recognised Tam Lin and seized him, and he changed, just as he warned, scorching, writhing, monstrous. But Janet didn't let go, and finally, when she cast the last shape into a well, Tam Lin stood before her. A man again. Furious, the Fairy Queen cursed her. "Had I known," she said, "I'd have torn out your eyes and replaced them with wood." But the Queen was bound by ancient laws. Janet had won. The Tale of Tam Lin is one of Scotland's most enduring ballads. An unusual story where a woman is the rescuer, and love isn't passive but brave and bloodied. It's about agency, about a mortal breaking the rules of both the Fae and her own world. And it reminds us that sometimes, the ones who defy the warnings are the ones who make the difference. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Bite-Sized Folklore. If you like the tale, subscribe and leave a review. unless the fairies have stolen your voice. Until next time, stay curious and maybe don't pick roses in enchanted woods.